Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
Thank you for tuning in this Thursday morning. Following the Veterans Show is so appropriate for this next topic and this next book. Mitchell Zuckoff is on the phone. He has written a really good book. Boy, actually, I could have said that better. You know, when you think about the Benghazi incident, the attacks on Benghazi on September 11th, 2012, right? Do I have the right year? The one thing that always bothers me when I hear some of the details about that is that we somehow, in trying to brush things under the carpet, we also brushed under the carpet some of the heroes from that day. And Mitchell Zuckoff has done the job that needed to be done 2 years ago. He is a journalist. He's a professor of journalism at Boston University. He contributes to the New Yorker, to Fortune magazine, and other publications as well. He received the Winship Penn New England Award, the Distinguished Writing Award from the American Society of Newspaper Editors, the Livingston Award, and is a finalist for a Pulitzer Prize in investigative reporting. So how honored are we to have him on the air with us? His book is called 13 Hours, the inside account of what really happened in Benghazi, the harrowing, true account from the brave men who fought back during the Battle of Benghazi. Mitchell Zuckoff, good morning, Mitchell.
Good morning, Larry. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Am I saying your last name correctly?
Yes.
Okay. And where are you right now?
I'm in Boston.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for calling in. Did you feel the same way I did, that we were making a huge mistake in all the political nonsense was neglecting something that really needed to be mentioned, is that we had some heroes in this?
I loved your opening for that very reason. You really described my motivation in telling this story. It was amazing to me that for all the blowback and the blow-up in Washington, we really had no idea what happened on the ground. And as soon as I started talking to these guys, I realized, and they're modest, they're not self-aggrandizing. I realized they had done extraordinary acts of heroism that saved, at least 24 lives that night, and we had somehow lost it. So that was absolutely my motivation in writing the book.
Wow. So at what point did you realize now who dropped the ball, really? I hate to blame us, because when I say us, I mean the media. But I think it's us. I think we made the mistake. But was it our fault, or were we kind of misled?
I think it's both. I think we got wrapped up, we got swept up very much in the story and focusing on the story of the the talking points on who was saying what on the Sunday morning talk shows and what was happening in Washington, and but at the same time, it was very difficult to get this story because these guys were working for the CIA, which is not known necessarily for great media relations and a great job of putting out the story of what their people are doing. So it was a combination of factors that allowed the political side of the story to overrun the practical or the actual side of the story. And
so in your book, you've taken that whole story and you've edited out the political part of it, so that we understand it. We can be there now. Whereas before it was kind of like looking at it through a foggy lens or something.
I appreciate that. That was exactly my mission. And there are other books to be written, perhaps, about what happened in Washington that night. And I don't ever, in fact, I say in the opening of the book, I don't expect this to be the last word, but it will be the authoritative word of what happened on the ground, on the rooftops, in these compounds, over this 13-hour period. We need to record these events as themselves, as events, not with the overlay of political machinations and political claims and counterclaims. That is, I liked how you put it, that is the foggy lens.
And so the heroes in this story, you name them all. They almost all have funny nicknames, by the way. And how are they doing today? They're
doing really well. They're doing a lot better now, actually, that the book is out. for 2 years, they had to sit quietly and with tremendous frustration as people lied. There was another book came out with a guy claiming that he had been there and done all these, heroic things, and Simon & Schuster had to pulp that book because it turned out it was a complete lie. That was a 60 Minutes story. They heard people questioning whether they were even there. So for 2 years, they sat in frustration and to some extent anger that what happened that night hadn't been recorded. Now, since the book has come out, and they're making a little bit of a media tour also, and there's a movie underway, they're feeling very good about things right now.
And they also had to go against the grain. They had to go against their orders because they valued human life more than they valued following orders.
It's a great point, and that's one of the takeaways, I think, of the book. There was a lot of discussion about whether there was a stand-down order, whether people were held back, and what this book documents in first-person account, that these guys were held back for about 25 minutes before they could respond to what was happening at the diplomatic compound. And then, as you say, exactly, they finally, when they're hearing radio calls coming saying, if you don't get here, we're going to die, they broke command. They did something that these are 6 guys with combined about 100 years of military and contracting experience. And these are guys who follow orders, but they put human life above those orders and above their careers and above everything, and put themselves into the line of fire.
And I think we even fell short on recognizing the casualties in that event, in that what we call it, an attack.
I agree. There's been a lot of talk, obviously, I think, about Christopher Stevens, the ambassador to Libya. But the other 3 men, Sean Smith and Glenn Doherty and Tyrone Roan Woods, these are American heroes. These are guys who did the work of the United States at tremendous peril, and they paid with their lives. And I think those names should be known to all Americans.
Can we ask how you did this? Was it on the phone? Did you sit across a coffee table with these guys? Did you do one at a time? Were they all in the room at the same time? How did you do this?
All of those things. My first move was to talk to them separately. Just in the work of journalism, I think you know this, Larry. It avoids the problem of everybody drinking out of the same cup, where the story becomes the same flavor. And so by getting all their stories individually, and then sitting down with them collectively, and then going back, and then obviously lots of time on the phone as well. So we did it all different ways. You try to triangulate this, and the rule was, when we first started working together, I not so politely said to them, guys, it's been there's been so much stuff said. You have to understand, I'm not going to believe anything you tell me. That's got to be our working approach, because nobody else outside of this book is going to believe anything we say unless we are absolutely locked down, solid, bulletproof on this.
No, I love that. I love that.
They appreciated it. They got it. They knew that if we didn't make this, and one of the things, frankly, I'm so proud about the book, is that in the 2 months or so it's been out, no one has questioned a single fact in this 300-page book. And that was our goal. So I think the process worked.
And the hunch of this listenership is your conclusion in the book is the hunch that I think they've had, as well as many people in America have had, is that there's something to this story that we don't know, and one day we'll hear it. And I'm glad it didn't take 100 years; it took 2. Mm-hmm. We need to take a little break for the weather, and we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For today, times of clouds and sunshine and pleasantly warm, high 77 to 81. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, lows generally in the 50s to near 60. For tomorrow, times of clouds and sunshine and noticeably cooler, with highs ranging from 66 in the northern part of the zone to 75 in the southernmost part. For Saturday, partly sunny with a high between 70 and 75. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Did you know know the odds are 50-50 that you'll have cataracts by the age of 65? And by the age of 75, almost everyone you know will get at least one cataract. However, the most important thing to remember is that modern cataract surgery can make your vision good as new, and in many cases without the further need for glasses. Ocala Eye has the depth of experience and advanced laser technology to perform your cataract procedure quickly in the comfort of their own surgery center and just minutes from your home. The symptoms of cataracts vary, but the most common ones are glare or halos from headlights at night, seeing road signs at a distance, and cloudy vision. Ocala Eye wants to help you with the latest cataract procedures, so call or go to ocalaeye.com or ask your eye doctor about cataract surgery at Ocala Eye. Trusted doctors and proven technology. Just another way Ocala Eye is looking out for you.
Dad's service to our country is something we're all proud of. He made a difference and set a great example. Now it's our turn to honor the sacrifices he made for our family and his country. As Veterans Funeral Specialist, Hyers-Baxley Funeral Services helped us celebrate Dad's life, and they can help you too. Hyers-Baxley is here for you during your time of need or when planning for the future. For more information, call 352-484-0891 or visit hyers-baxley.com/choice.
Nothing comes close to honey baked. For starters, every honey baked ham is fully cooked and ready to serve, and underneath that sweet, crunchy glaze is the leanest, most flavorful, moist, and tender ham you'll find anywhere. Add a luscious turkey breast, pot roast, or baby back ribs with our delicious casserole dishes and desserts, and voila, dinner is served. Call us now to place your order at 861-0011. That's 861-0011. Place your order today and grab one of Honey Baked Ham's scrumptious sandwiches to go or dine in.
All right, 12 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. We are speaking to Mitchell Zuckoff. He is up in Boston. He's written this wonderful book called 13 Hours, the inside account of what really happened in Benghazi, and we are all ears with this story. Do you know the things that came out about the video that caused the whole thing? We heard that wasn't true after a while. And were the guys who were the 6 guys in the book, were they able to appear on newscasts or anything like that to give their side of this ever, or were they ordered to not say anything?
They were unable to until the publication of the book. So they were, again, during those 2 years before the publication, they were watching people talking about the video and talking about protests, and they knew from that night that there had been no protests. They knew, and one of the big takeaways I would say, Larry, is that they knew, and they were dying to tell people how preventable this was. That, take away the politics and talk about the issues of safety that are now finally coming out. We put our diplomats and our intelligence officers in some of the most dangerous places in the world. And when we put them in Benghazi, we put them in a terrible position. There was not enough security, and that this is not just hindsight. Chris Stevens was asking for more security in Libya throughout the summer of 2012. Mm-hmm. The British had left Benghazi. There had been a bomb that blew open a wall in the diplomatic compound. And so they were dying to tell this, in part because they knew that guys like them around the world were supposed to be protecting diplomats and security and intelligence officers. And this story had to be told for that reason. Okay,
and so that leads me to this question, and it may sound like an odd question, but if I were to sit with, or anybody was to sit with the 6 guys that we're talking about on September 10th of 2012, and ask them, what is your mission here? I'm guessing it would have been to protect everybody, right?
To protect everybody at the CIA annex. Their job was about almost a mile away from where the diplomats were. Their job, and they did their job, was to make sure that the CIA officers, the case officers who were doing the intelligence work, were protected and safe as they went around Benghazi, and they did their job. What was happening over at the diplomatic community, which is the State Department, a different part of our own government, was something else. There were 5 guys on that property who were supposed to protect the ambassador and Sean Smith, and frankly, they were not prepared to. When the attackers rushed through the front gate, those guys were not ready. They were with just sidearms, and they were immediately overrun. They were separated into 3 different buildings, and they had to hunker down as the buildings were set on fire and call for help. So the guys who if you sat down with the guys who I was fortunate to sit down with, you would hear that this, they would never say it this way. This is me saying it. They would say, this wasn't our job. In all honesty, this is the kind of guys these are. They weren't going to let Americans.
Well, all the more reason why this is a story of heroism. That's all the more reason to believe that. Our listeners are calling in. Are you okay with taking phone calls from listeners? Okay, let's do some of these. And if you would like to join, go ahead and call 622-WOCA. Good morning. Thank you for waiting, by the way. You're on the air now.
Oh, I'd like to thank this gentleman, this author. I'd like to ask him a quick question to start. Do you have a bodyguard?
Oh, no, I don't. Thank you for your for the compliment, but no, I think I'm okay.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah, really. That's kind of a sobering question, though.
Well, it's funny. My close friends here have spent about 20 years writing about the New England Mafia, and their phones are still listed and their names are public. So I figure if they can do that, I should be okay.
I guess, yeah.
Yes. Well, we need people like you, Cheryl Atkinson, who came out with the fact that CBS, well, not just CBS, hid the Benghazi clip, just to protect someone in the last election. And, I'd totally like to bring out that, we have managed news. It's so unfortunate. Where are the investigative reporters? And could you please comment on all the individuals who have mysteriously died, who were involved and surrounding Benghazi? And thank you for bringing forth these 4 heroes who were tortured and murdered, and it could have been prevented. I want to thank you so much and look forward to getting your book. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, those who died are considered heroes too, I would say. So who are the ones who are mysteriously dying?
I'm not sure exactly to whom she's referring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Larry likes to bring out that the people that died over there, they're somebody's spouse or somebody's son or somebody's parent. And when Hillary Clinton made that statement, what difference does it make? How did the 6 gentlemen feel when they heard that?
Exactly as you would imagine. They were extremely upset by that. And they have gone out of their way, and I've been in touch with the families, including the ambassador's family, and this book was really designed, and we dedicated the book. The book's dedication is to the 4 men who died, and so it does matter, and it does matter to them, their families, and it does matter to anyone who wants to understand what great people do when they're faced, with tough choices.
It is interesting how a journalist stumbles upon a story that becomes a huge story, huge enough that you can make it into a book. Did this take you on a different path than you were already on? Were you surprised by where this whole thing took you?
Very much so. My previous 2 books were both stories out of World War II, narratives from bygone years, from almost 70 years ago. And so this was, and I was embarking on another World War II book when I got a call saying that these guys had stuck together, and they were talking to a few different authors and trying to find somebody with whom they would feel comfortable. And so it completely changed the direction of my career, and I would say the direction of my life.
And I hope this isn't anything prophetic, but I hope you're not writing about the beginnings of World War III. I mean, in the future, when we look back to this time, I hope it's an isolated thing and not part of a bigger picture that we haven't even seen yet.
I couldn't agree more. I don't predict the future, but I think we share that same prayer.
When you write real-life stories like this, do you yourself ever have nightmares?
On this book, I did a few.
Really?
This is the first time that has ever happened to me, and I've written, this is my 7th book. There were a few times where, I would be spending 10 or 12 hours going over one 5-minute period of the events, where I was just writing one 5-minute episode all day and reading and rereading and calling the guys, and then it's very hard to put it out of your head when you close your eyes.
Do you know the one thing that I guess we've noticed a lot about books like yours that become movies, and I don't know if that's a desire on your part, but when this happens, well, let me go back to the book part first. When the book comes out, there's a certain segment of the population that eats it up, reads it, gets it, understands it, is grateful for it, and they carry around with this understanding that was greater than they had before. But I think the larger population experiences that when the movie is made, as long as the movie is made accurately. And that would be my fear with this, is that somebody would contact you and say, hey, we'd like to make a movie out of this, and maybe they fall short of what the book is trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a great point, and I agree. When something becomes a movie, it penetrates the culture, tenfold or 100-fold even from a book. I'm fortunate in this case because I share that concern. The screenwriter is a guy who I have great respect for. Who's been a friend of long standing. His name's Chuck Hogan, and Chuck is a writer with great integrity, and so I believe, and the studio who's doing it is Paramount. And so I'm confident that they understand, and in all my talks with them and with the producer, the fellow named Erwin Stoff, they understand that they would be doing a disservice, and frankly, they understand they would be criticized just the way I would.
Very good news. So what you're saying sounds very promising. So you'll be in the Academy Awards. You'll be in that audience.
Yes.
I hope so. I don't want to get too far ahead.
Yeah.
Are the soldiers in the book, are they still active in the military?
They are not. The guys are all now retired and living at home, and sort of figuring out what's next. Fortunately, 3 of them are going to be consultants on the movie to make sure that it's accurate.
Oh, awesome. Good stuff.
So we've done as much due diligence as we can to make sure that this story really remains a part of history and not a fiction.
I can't wait for the listeners to get to read this book. I can't wait for us all to get to know these guys a little better. Can you tell us about? And we've only got 2 minutes left, but just name the guys. Mark.
Sure.
Go ahead.
It's Mark Oz Geist, John Tig Tigan, Chris Tonto Peranto, Dave D.B. Benton, Jack Silva, and finally Tyrone Roan Woods.
Robin's maiden name is Peranto, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look this up.
Might be related to one of these guys.
Yeah.
You and Tonto might have history.
Yeah, we could.
Tonto Peranto. I have a copy of the book. It is one that I really would rather keep, but I don't. I always give them away. So call me if you want the copy that I have, 622-9622, and the one I have is for free. It's a hardcover, by the way, a nice book. And the way the rest of us buy it, do we go to your website or Amazon? How do we?
Anywhere. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, BarnesandNoble.com. It's available pretty much everywhere. Costco.
Okay. And Mitchell, do you have a website of your own?
I do. I have MitchellZuckoff.com.
Okay, and Mitchell's last name is Z, as in zebra, Uckoff. Let me find somebody who will take this book. And good morning. You got the book. Who's this?
Hey, Larry, this is Tom.
Tom, you got the book.
Oh, great. Thank you. It sounds like a wonderful book. I'm looking forward to it.
Good for you. It'll be waiting for you.
Okay. Thank you, Larry.
All right.
I'll
Thank
talk
you.
to you later.
And Mitchell, I'm just guessing that somebody wants me to ask you this. Is it available as an ebook on Kindle and the other one?
Thank you for asking, Larry. Yes, it is. It's available digitally, and so it's on all platforms.
It takes a lot of courage to write something of this magnitude, and you have done a most magnificent job, sir.
That's very kind of you. Thank you.
What a great interview, too, by the way. Thank you, Mitchell, for being on the air with us. It's certainly an honor, and good luck with everything you're doing. I think you're making us a better nation just by doing this.
Oh, thank you. I look forward to speaking with you all again.
Go get the book. It's called 13 Hours. Mitchell Zuckoff. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Sources tell Fox News the president